Hello all. I am your social teacher back again with History 9th Standard, Unit 2, Part 2 of the lesson Ancient Civilizations. I hope all are fine, hale and healthy. Come, let's go into the lesson. Learning objectives. To learn about the main features of the Mesopotamian civilization. Introduction. The Mesopotamia refers to the region of Iraq and Kuwait in West Asia. Several kingdoms emerged around the city-states of this region from the early 3rd BC. The Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrian civilizations flourished in Mesopotamia. So in this picture you can see a typical ruler of Mesopotamian civilization. Now, let us learn about the geography of the Mesopotamian Empire. In the Greek language, Meso means in between and Potamus means river. The Euphrates and Tigris flow here and drain into Persian Gulf. This area is between two rivers, so it is known as Mesopotamia. 4 different civilizations flourished in Mesopotamia. Now let us learn about all the 4 civilizations one by one. First, the Sumerians. The oldest civilization in Mesopotamia belonged to the Sumerians. They found many cities and Nippur was one of the important cities. 2. The Akkadians. The Akkadians dominated the Sumerians briefly. The Sargon of Akkad was the famous ruler. The descendants ruled Mesopotamia for more than 100 years. So in these 2 pictures you can see different rulers of Sumerians and the Akkadians. Third, the Babylonians. The Semitic people called Amorites from the Arabian desert moved into Mesopotamia. They were known as Babylonians, as they established the kingdom and made Babylon its capital. Fourth, the Assyrians. The Assyrian Empire was politically active in Mesopotamia around 1000 BC. Assur was the capital city of Assyria. Society, state and administration. The Sumerian civilization had many city-states. A typical Sumerian city was surrounded by cultivable lands. The fortified Sumerian cities had the temple called ziggurats at its center. The temple was controlled by the priests. Priests, scribes, and nobles were part of the government. The temples acted as the storehouses of the taxed commodities. So in this picture you can see the ziggurat. Ziggurat is nothing but the temples of the Mesopotamian civilization. Now let us learn about ziggurats, the temples of Mesopotamian civilization, through this small video.
At the center of each major city in Mesopotamia was a large structure called a ziggurat. The ziggurat was built to honor the main god of the city. The tradition of building a ziggurat was started by the Sumerians, but other civilizations of Mesopotamia, such as the Akkadians, the Babylonians, and the Assyrians, also built ziggurats. Ziggurats look like step pyramids. They would have anywhere from 2 to 7 levels or steps. Each level would be smaller than the one before. Typically, the ziggurat would be square in shape at the base. Some ziggurats are believed to have been huge, perhaps the largest ziggurat, was the one at Babylon. Recorded dimensions show that it had been 7 levels and reached a height of nearly 300 feet. It was also 300 feet by 300 feet square at its base. The ziggurat was a temple to the main god of each city. Each city in Mesopotamia had a primary god. For example, Marduk was the god of Babylon. Enki was the god of Eridu, and Ishtar was the goddess of Nineveh. The ziggurat showed that the city was dedicated to that god.
I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Food and agriculture. Agriculture was the main occupation of the Mesopotamians. They had developed irrigation system for availability of water for agriculture. They cultivated wheat, barley, onions, turnips, grapes, apples, and dates. They domesticated cattle, sheep, and goats. Fish was a part of their diet. So in this picture you can see how the people did agriculture during the Mesopotamian civilization. Trade and exchange. The trade was an important economic activity of the Mesopotamian society. They traded with Syria and Asia Minor in the west and in Iran. They traveled in ships across the sea for trade. So in the second picture you can see the sea route of the Mesopotamian civilization to Indus Valley civilization which flourished in India. Cities and town planning. The Mesopotamian cities featured mud or baked brick walls with gates. Some people lived in reed huts outside the cities. The ziggurats were at the city center on a platform and appeared like steep pyramids with staircases leading to the top. Around the temple was a complexes of ceremonial courtyards, burial chambers, workshops, granaries, and administrative buildings. So in this picture you can see the town planning of the Mesopotamian civilization. Religion. The Sumerian religion followed polytheism. They worshipped several gods and goddesses. Marduk and Ashur were the supreme god. Ishtar was goddess of love. Tiamat was the goddess of the sea. The kings were seen as representatives of God on earth. The Mesopotamians believed and developed a rich collections of myths and legends. The most famous of these is the Epic of Gilgamesh. So in this picture you can see number of gods that were worshipped by the Mesopotamian civilization. The Hammurabi's Law Code. The Hammurabi's Code is an important legal document related to various crimes like family rights, trade, slavery, taxes, and wages. It is carved on a stone which portrays Hammurabi as receiving the code from the sun god Shamash. It is based on laws like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So in the first picture you can see Hammurabi's code carved on a stone, and in the second picture you can see Hammurabi receiving the code from the sun god Shamash. Writing system. Cuneiform is a Sumerian writing system. The shape of the letter is in the form of wedge. Hence, it is called as cuneiform. It is one of the earliest scripts of the world. It was written on clay tablets. So in this picture you can see the writing system of the Sumerians which was written on the clay tablets. Art. The Mesopotamian art included sculptures in stone and clay. A few paintings and sculptures portray animals such as goats, rams, bulls, and lions. Some mythological figures like lions and bulls with human heads have also been found in their art. So in these two pictures you can see the artistic skills of the Mesopotamian civilization. Science. The Mesopotamians excelled in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. They developed the concepts of multiplication, division, and cubic equation. The Sumerian calendar had 7 days in a week. They introduced the 12 months calendar system based on lunar months. Contributions of the Mesopotamian civilizations. The invention of wheel is credited to the Sumerians. They developed the calendar system of 360 days. The cuneiform system of writing was their contribution. The Hammurabi's law code was another legacy of the Mesopotamians. So in this picture you can see the calendar system of the Mesopotamian civilization, which was based on the rotation of moon. These were the contributions of the Mesopotamians to the modern world. I hope you understood the lesson. Now answer a few questions connected to the lesson. That's all with the second part of the video. It is your social teacher signing off. Till we meet again with the third part of the video. Bye. Take care.